is In the Know for Monday, October 28th, the 302nd day of 2024. There are 64 days left in the year. Good morning, MD, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app. Using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter. And the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Look back on a big weekend. We'll have that and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire. Here's my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
It must be the kickoff of Red Ribbon Week.
It is.
You're wearing red.
Yes.
I'm wearing some red.
That's as bad as red as you get.
Accompanied with
Yes.
some blue and some white. But listen, I have to, if I am forced to wear red to save my life, I don't know if I have many options. This might be the only option. But I'm at least celebrating
Yes,
the
you
kickoff
are.
to Red Ribbon Week. Do I need to know what tomorrow is yet?
Pretty sure it is mismatch day.
Mismatch day.
Hang on, I will tell you.
I heard Alea
for
what that
sure.
means. She said, "What does that mean?"
Yes.
And you said, "Well, stripes and polka dots."
Yes.
Those are mismatched. But
Yes.
this day and age, I don't know. Some people might think that's an actual fashion statement.
Yes. Mismatch clothes tomorrow, which a lot of people wear mismatched socks anyway.
Right.
Wednesday is sports themed.
Okay. No
so-
problem. Yeah.
And then Thursday is your Halloween costume.
I hope come Wednesday I'm still wearing a Yankees shirt. That would be nice. But anyway, we'll circle back to that
Yes.
in just a moment. The official kickoff to Red Ribbon Week. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Cincinnati. He's Sam Gormley. And the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
Feeling more like a Reds fan than a Bengals fan today?
I mean, you just pulled out the Reds hat was sitting on top today. So I said,
Okay.
let's
Because
pull that one out.
It's Red Ribbon Week. It's the kickoff to Red Ribbon Week.
Yeah,
so you
we'll
went
say
with
that I remembered that and planned that.
you went with the red. Not bad. Did you make it to the whiteout yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, I assume that you did. We'll circle back to that momentarily as well. It was not a very good sports weekend beyond Friday night, and we'll talk about that too. We're going to see a warm-up to start the work week. We'll see highs in the 70s and increasing clouds throughout the day today. I want to take your attention ahead to Thursday. Our partners at Wave have declared an alert day for Halloween, but it's not because of any severe weather. So don't hear it that way. There's not a potential for severe weather, but because of the day having widespread rain and maybe 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts while kids are out in the afternoon and the evening, it just could be just a very dynamic day, or certainly a departure from the days that we've had for the last month that are dry, warm, and winds are low. So just be prepared for that. You will see increasing clouds today, 77, partly cloudy, 62 tonight, partly cloudy and windy for tomorrow, and a high of 83. Let's hope some of those winds will blow some rain into our area later in the week. We'll probably get, I don't know, we might get some rain today as far as I'm concerned, since I watered last night. You know, the landscaping just got to have some water. So I put some down, and typically that's like, wash your car, make it rain. Carry an umbrella, it won't rain. That's kind of the way it works. We are also in the final week now of daylight saving time. Come Sunday morning at 2 a.m., we will fall back. So it will take your bodies a little while to get adjusted. I find to my mood, the fall back is the more harsh of the two, because then all of a sudden at 5 o'clock it's dark, or basically, and it only gets shorter from there. But I find my body, it has a harder time adjusting to the spring forward. So, you get the extra hour in the fall, but unless you just stay up an hour later, and it ends up being the same. But we're in 48 states that will fall back coming up this weekend, and takes a little while. You know, it takes 3 or 4 days to kind of get sorted out, but that's the way that it's going to go. Election Day is a week from tomorrow. Of course, early voting starts in Kentucky coming up on Thursday. So you'll be able to vote in Grayson County at the Center on Main from 8 to 4 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Then we will do all your voting centers and including the Center on Main on Tuesday. There are, this is the stretch where you get into, especially on the constitutional amendments. Constitutional Amendment 1 is basically citizenship to vote in Kentucky. I was a little surprised that we don't already have that, but I think the Amendment 1 is probably a no-brainer. Amendment 2 is definitely harder because it's more complex. And we had a discussion about it Thursday or Friday. I think what would help me the most is Governor Beshear, the Teachers Association, that group they've been very good on explaining the potential ills of it. I need someone on the pro side to walk that out for me on actually how that works and show me a successful scenario that allows me to then choose. Like, I certainly understand the potential ills of it. Like, I've got those down pat. No one has made a compelling, convincing argument to me to say, here's how this is going to be good for Grayson County. I can see how it might be good for other counties. I can see, and I do think competition makes things better, but I've yet just to see a case study that says, and maybe that's on me. Maybe I should go looking at one. But that's probably a lot of people are being somewhat held up, or at least less certain about too, because there seems to be a lot of data to consume on that. You've got the presidential race, of course, Harris and Trump, and then there's a couple of independents. Robert RFK is still on the ballot in Kentucky, even though he has endorsed Trump. You got Chase Oliver, who's a libertarian, Jill Stein, who is the Green Party candidate. You got the ballot measures. You've got some really not contested House and Senate races. So that's coming up. Oh, the NASA astronauts, they were going for a month, and it turned into it was kind of like Gilligan's Island. We sent some astronauts to the International Space Station. They thought it was a 3-hour tour, and they got stuck there for 8 months. They are back home. They did not come home on the NASA shuttle, or the NASA capsule that they were expecting because of some potential problems. But SpaceX got them back home on Dragon. And one of them was hospitalized overnight. They did not say why, but when your body's prepared to go for X amount of time and you train in those conditions, and then it turns out to be 8 times that, then that certainly can be hard on the human body. But fortunately, it was overnight and then released. We hadn't mentioned it last week because I think the national media has done a pretty good job, but I did hear where McDonald's is putting the Quarter Pounder back on the menu in the areas where it had been taken off. They were able to identify the E. coli to the slivered onions that came from a particular farm in Colorado called Taylor Farms. They were supplying about 900 McDonald's restaurants with the onions, the slivered onions for the Quarter Pounder, and they said it's not the beef patties, so they were confident in that. So it sounds like maybe they've identified that. And I don't think anything on our part of the country was impacted, but oftentimes people hear McDonald's and they hear them taking something off the menu, and they might get a little bit alarmed. Litchfield home has been destroyed in a massive fire. The LFD, Emergency Management, and EMS responded to the fire at the intersection of Alexander Drive at Embry Villa Road. This happened Friday night about 8. They found a home and a large deck nearly fully engulfed in flames. They battled both inside the burning home and outside. Several large explosions were heard in the neighborhood before and just after firefighters got to the scene. The explosions appeared to come from the rear of the property. At least one adjacent residence lost power. It took them about 30 minutes to get that fire under control. The family's pets, 2 dogs and a cat, did survive, according to a post by the family. An unresponsive cat described by one witness as a kitten was pulled from the home and provided oxygen by EMS. And the family's 2 vehicles that were also destroyed in the fire. So you may be familiar with this young family. I know a lot of people are. They're not identified in the story, but many of you are aware. So it's certainly a tragedy, and they need any help that anyone might be able to provide. In a spot of good news, good fortune for Grayson County's own Jimmy Mattingly, our own master fiddle player, has been inducted into the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame over at Renfro Valley. Happened over the weekend. He was kind of inducted, born and raised, or at least raised in Evely, and obviously well known, touring with Garth Brooks and just at the center of many great projects. He's an avid Tennessee Titans fan, I saw yesterday. And he, over in Renfro Valley, Steve Warrener was involved in helping induct him into the Hall of Fame. So congratulations to Jimmy on that. Nice little story at K105.com that you can read today, helping tribute his induction into the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame. An elderly father has been arrested for shooting and killing his son in Butler County. Morgantown Police Department arrested 81-year-old Carl Martin of Morgantown and charged him in the murder of his son, 49-year-old Jason Martin, also of Morgantown. Carl Martin apparently told law enforcement that early Thursday morning his son had asked him to purchase alcohol for him. The father went to purchase alcohol, and when he returned to the residence, Carl said his son was walking in the yard saying he had been shot. Carl Martin told police he took his son to Butler County Family Care in Morgantown, but the office was closed. He then took Jason Martin to nearby Smith Funeral Home to ask someone to call an ambulance. Jason Martin was pronounced deceased at the funeral home by the Butler County Coroner's Office. While being questioned, Carl Martin's recounting of the events questioned by law enforcement. Then Thursday night, they discovered that evidence that led to the arrest of Carl Martin for murder. Wow. Interesting story there. Friday night, Friday night, I was listening to your conversation, Sam, with Coach Brian Jones, and he said that Breckenridge County would prove to be a challenge for the Cougars on Friday night, and he was either very, very wrong, or they had prepared exceptionally well because it was a rout at Cougar Stadium on Friday night.
Yeah, program record 70 points. 70 scored by Grayson County football on Friday evening. I mean, the offense was, clicking on all cylinders. I mean, I think they had the ball 10 times and scored a touchdown all 10 times. And I might not be a football expert, but that seems like pretty decent percentage to me.
I have seen 70 points scored on Grayson County many times in the
Actually,
2000s.
Once.
Just once?
Yes, Greenwood did. They scored 71 against Grayson County, either late 90s or early 2000s. But I think that's the only time that 70 had, because we were interested if the Grayson County scoreboard even went to 70.
I think it probably goes to 99.
That would have been our assumption. Part of us were kind of hoping to see, we wanted to see what would happen. Would they have to go back to the beginning? But it wasn't going to get that bad.
No, I think somebody has to shimmy up there. I think Lacey Cox has to shimmy up there and just be the one in front of the.
I'm sure she'd appreciate you nominating her for that.
Well, she's shaped like a one. I mean, there'd be other people you shape that would be like another zero, but Lacey's shaped like a one, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could find people that wouldn't qualify to be a one. I'm one of them. But anyway, it was apparently a good night, and now they will prepare for the regular season finale with Hancock County.
Yeah, Hancock County on Friday. It'll be senior night. So that's back again. Remains a 7:00 game. 6:30 will be the locker room show, and they usually do senior night about 10 after 6 or so. That's not official, but that's usually about when they do it. So they do it before the game, and then they can get warmed up and get ready to roll after that. So that should be a good night. And then that on Friday, it did also officially solidify that Grayson County will host Iroquois again in the playoffs, which will be next Friday, the 8th. And then if they would win that, they would play again the Friday after at home against the winner of Fairdale or North Bullitt. So okay. you get some playoff looks as well for this Grayson County team, but they are guaranteed to play at home the next 3 weeks. I guess the next 2 weeks, and then if they win next Friday, they will then play again at home on the 15th.
Kentucky suffered their 7th straight SEC home loss in a 24-10 setback to Auburn. It's gone from bad to worse, and my guess, I would say it's going to get even worse in the final stretch of the season. I think the attendance for the Murray State game is going to be dismal. I think they are going to get blown out at Tennessee, and then they've got a really good shot of losing to Louisville for the first time in quite some time. Mark Stoops, I think, is most likely they can't. I don't think they're going to buy him out. I talk to people that think that they will. I don't think they'll buy him out for $44 million, but I do see him potentially reaching of his own conclusion, maybe time to do something else.
But even as they said for KSR, he's a prideful guy, and do you want to go out this way?
I talked with never mind. I better not.
Oh. Do you have Mark Stoops' phone number, and you were talking to him over the weekend? Is that what you were saying?
I do not.
Mark
there's not a fraternity of Marks where all the Marks like
You and
have a
Pope?
group chat. Yeah, it's yeah. The New York Yankees will be hosting the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight in Game 3, down 0-2. What was it? I think 45 of the 56 teams in World Series history who have gone up 2 games have won the title. So at this point, maybe we're just hoping for Game 7 if you're a Yankees fan. But Freddie Freeman, I don't think I've ever turned a television off so fast in my life as soon as Freddie Freeman swung on Friday night. I didn't have to see it go. I just turned it off.
What's funny is that as soon as you turned it off must have been when I turned it on, because as soon as I got home, I turned it on and he was rounding the bases, and I was like, crap. Like I was really hoping to get home to watch at least some of it, but I didn't even get to see a pitch. I just saw him as he was rounding second base.
Yeah, well, then they tried to give it to the Yankees on Saturday night, but no such luck. So the Yankees have dug themselves a hole that they likely will not be able to dig themselves out of, and they may be just trying to stretch. They're just trying to get the series back to L.A. is probably what they're hoping for. I don't see any way they would leave the Bronx being up 3-2. And then the Bengals struggled to run the ball yesterday, and the Eagles won, 37-17?
Yeah, that was a weird headline, because to me that's not the takeaway from the game. It was just like the AP. When I read your headline this morning that they sent, I was like, that's a weird thing to put in the headline. It was just the second half. They had a couple of plays that it was one of those. It was not a 20-point game. It was a lot closer than that. But the Bengals made a lot of mistakes in the second half, and now you're 3-5. So. Got Vegas coming up on Sunday, and that's a must-win of all must-wins.
I know you're not necessarily a Dodgers fan, even though you are rooting for them in the World Series, but between Kentucky's dismal performance and the Bengals losing, the Cougars were the highlight of the weekend. Thank you, Cougars, for hanging 70 on Breckinridge County and getting ready for senior night at Grayson County High School. Tyler Reddick won at Homestead, and so they will advance to next week in the NASCAR schedule. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Going to talk Halloween candy and plenty more coming up. You're on In the Know.
Owensboro Health asks, how are you? Your mental health affects your well-being as much as your physical health. Psychiatrist Dr. Adam Smith helps improve the quality of his patients' lives by treating their crippling depression, anxiety, or other concerns. Find help for your mental health with Dr. Adam Smith at Owensboro Health in Litchfield. Call 270-230-0212 or learn more at owensborohealth.org/Adam Smith.
If you strive for a healthy mind, body, and soul but feel overwhelmed, maybe it's time to talk with someone. Reach out to Fuller Life Counseling Partners. Whether you're seeking individual or couples counseling, family therapy, or substance abuse counseling, Fuller Life Counseling is there to help. Young or old, there are many benefits. Less anxiety and stress, better relationships, increased emotional balance, and more. Heal from within with Fuller Life Counseling in Bowling Green, Glasgow, Litchfield, and Scottsville. Or visit FullerLifeCounseling.org.
Gravel, crushed stone, or lime. No matter your project, Katyville Crushed Stone has the rock you need at unbeatable prices. Our new owners have over 30 years of expertise to guide you through your next project. Whether it's new construction, a driveway, barn, or farm, we've got you covered. Our customer service team is available Monday through Friday, and our delivery team Monday through Saturday for all your rock solutions. Katyville Crushed Stone. Call 270-879-0222.
Early voting in the general election will be available to anyone October 31st, November 1st, and 2nd from 8 to 4 at the Center on Main in Litchfield. Then on Election Day, November 5th, 2024, you may vote at any of the following voting centers. The Center on Main, 425 South Main Street in Litchfield. The Church of Joy, 100 Schoolhouse Road in Litchfield. The Old Caneyville School, 202 East Maple Street. The Falls of Rough Fire Department, 123 Green Farms Road. The Rock Creek Voting House, 10658 Grayson Springs Road, Clarkson. The Clarkson Community Center, 213 Millerstown Street. And the Big Clifty Community Center, 280 Cemetery Road. No matter where you live in Grayson County, you may vote at any of these voting centers between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. on November 5th. Early voting is only offered October 31st, November 1st, and 2nd from 8 to 4 at the Center on Main in Litchfield.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start January 13th. Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Alphabet and Anthropic are under investigation in the United Kingdom. The Google parent and the San Francisco startup behind the chatbot Claude are partnering on artificial intelligence technology. The UK's competition regulator is going to decide by December the 1st whether or not to proceed with the probe. Intel is off the hook for a $1.5 billion antitrust fine in the European Union. In 2022, a court annulled the fine against the chipmaker, and the EU Commission appealed to a higher court. On Wednesday, a judge dismissed the appeal and the sanction. Apple is launching new AI features in its Apple Intelligence. Included in iOS 18.2 is an AI image generator, the ability to let AI rewrite text, and a magic wand that removes objects from photos. The beta version of the operating system also includes integration with OpenAI's ChatGPT. And Tesla is reporting stronger than expected third quarter profits, sending shares up after Wednesday's earnings release. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
This segment of In the Know is brought to you by Litchfield Memorial Chapel, providing Grayson County with compassionate, professional funeral, cremation, and pre-need services. Litchfield Memorial Chapel, celebrating life one family at a time. Call 259-4566 or visit litchfieldfh.com. Today is Statue of Liberty Dedication Day. It was dedicated to this date in 1886 by President Grover Cleveland. It's also National Chocolate Day. Yes, there's also one in July for those of you who are keenly aware and follow your chocolate days. But it is also Chocolate Day today. You know, the Swiss are very good at the chocolate game. Most cocoa comes from West Africa, though, that goes into us making our chocolate. Sam, you prefer chocolate candy to other types, or you prefer non-chocolate candy?
No strong opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not candy discriminate. You're an
Yeah,
equal
no,
opportunity candier.
I'm not a huge, sweet person in general. Like, I could not tell you the last time I had like candy. As far as like a candy bar or, I think at KBA, in our bag, I think there was a Reese cup. And that's been a month. So that's probably the last time I had like a candy bar or piece of candy.
There was?
Hey, wait a minute. I did not see one in my bag.
Well,
So,
clearly,
I misplaced my bag, but I got your bag and gave it to you. But I don't recall. I didn't go through yours.
Clearly, you all were not the
Clearly.
not on the good bags. Chris Winkle, he had a grouping of bags that were off to the side for the favorites,
Okay.
and
So, also, Red Cross is at Center on Main today from 12 to 5.
They're on Center on Main.
Pretty sure. I'll
Okay.
double check
All
before
right. I
show's
thought
over.
you said something about Clarkson earlier. So,
No, I'll double check.
all right. The a new survey from the expert websites, if you will, that are telling us what the real experts are saying that the little ghosts and goblins and Taylor Swifts and Harley Quinns are going to be wanting when they come to your door. At number 5, Starburst. I don't know why. I wouldn't go like pick out Starburst, but when I see Starburst lying around, I enjoy them.
I like them.
I like them because they're not too tacky on your teeth. Like they have kind of that, but they don't get stuck and doesn't feel like maybe your teeth are going to come out when you try to chew.
It is Center on Main, 12 to 5.
All right, thanks for confirming. M&M's. It's been scientifically proven that on Halloween night, people favor original M&M candy over the other similar-looking treats, with the chocolate pack winning 76% of the time. But just on, I see, I'm a peanut M&M person, but I guess on Halloween, maybe it's people are different. At number 3, Twix. Caramel, cookies, and chocolate are an unbeatable combination any way you slice it, according to some of the experts. A lot of Twix fans, or maybe candy connoisseurs, cite the ratio of the way the Twix is composed, that if you had more of any of the 3, it wouldn't be nearly as good, but it's the balance of
see,
the Twix.
I never eat those. That's like if I do go eat a candy bar, that's not the one I'm picking off the shelf.
Okay.
I do. When they come in like one of the mixed bags, I'll go for a Twix.
I lived PT. You know, there's BC and there's AD. I lived PT. I lived pre-Twix. A portion of my life was conducted without Twix being part of the candy landscape. So when it came along, it seemed like a breakthrough. It seemed like that now we're getting somewhere in the candy world.
You know what I miss?
What do you
And I
miss?
can pick one up. The Zero bars.
Zero bars.
Yes.
Yeah, white chocolate. Is it just basically a
It's
Snickers covered in white chocolate?
Sort of. It has more of a nougat. Like,
Okay.
I don't know how to, yeah.
Yeah, so what's the
If you know, you know.
what is the dark chocolate, the immediate dark chocolate equivalent or milk chocolate equivalent of a Zero? Is there one? There surely has to be, doesn't there? I would presume.
It has a unique taste.
Somebody's missing an opportunity if they haven't done that. At 2, Snickers. Snickers is a close second to number 1. There is, and again, as we've talked about this season, I think the reason that Snickers holds on so well is because they were the first to identify snack size. They went, you know what we got? We got portability. We got easy. We got non-guilt. We got, you can have a little one. They're easy. They're like 2 bites. They're really good.
And they even went to the ice cream variety.
That's right. That's right. Plus,
Smart.
I think the one I like I don't really want a frozen or a cold Snickers, but a little bit of a chill on the Snickers is pretty good. You know, it gives it a little more bite. But of course, number 1, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, hands down. Not only, according to Thrillist wrote, not only is it the greatest candy out there, it's also one of the greatest snacks, period. The perfect alchemy of peanut butter and chocolate. That's right, without a doubt. And I lived pre-RC, Reese's Cup. I saw, now, I think there were peanut butter cups before I was walking around the earth, but the Reese's variety,
They're probably like Palmer's or
back? I don't know.
Yes,
I
I'm
looked
back
up on
now.
my
Sorry, my
monitor. Okay.
device decided that it wanted to randomly restart.
Okay, well, I looked up and I saw like birds on a wire, and I was like, okay. So
Yeah, it decided. I guess I just was sitting here and listening. I don't remember what you were talking about. And then all of a sudden, everything went dark, and I thought, did we have a power surge or something? And no, because everything else was still on.
we mentioned, your other session just ducked out. That was the balls you heard. We mentioned while you were gone your favorite candy, middle finger.
Oh,
It's like a Butterfinger, but it's slightly
okay.
different.
I thought you were asking me what my favorite candy was.
No, I knew what your favorite candy was. I mentioned it. It's the your number one middle finger. Lice Krispie treats.
That's
No, nobody likes Lice Krispie treats. And malted meatballs. Those are the some of the least popular.
Sam, did you
Halloween
miss
candy.
good and or hot and sweaty? Good and sweaty.
Good
or
and sweaty.
Good and sweaty.
Yes, I missed that one. I missed
That's
that
on
one.
the
I missed.
scene. That's-
I
that's
missed all of them except for middle fingers.
right below the good and plenty, the good and sweaty. 2,000 parents were surveyed, and with children between the ages of 3 and 15, 2/3 of parents admit to stealing candy that their kids collected while trick-or-treating.
The other third's lying.
That's true. That's called, the candy tax should be levied. It's
Yes.
just part of putting the roof over your head or driving you around.
Buying the costume,
That's absolutely right.
right?
There's more crime on Halloween night as well. On average, 17% more crime-related claims on Halloween, according to the insurance industry. A Northeastern University professor claims the violent crimes increased by as much as 50% on Halloween. 50%? That's a lot. And then we have recently, I think 2 times this year, in our geography, we have been the beneficiaries of being able to see the Northern Lights. Now, I personally did not get to see either of them. We were out of town for one, and I think just poor proximity for the other. But it's something that I kind of like, well, I wish I had been able to see that because it seemed very impressive. I take you to Suffolk, England, where a woman was left stunned after seeing the so-called mystical glow of a Northern Light-style aurora over the skies of southern England. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Doesn't that look beautiful?
It does.
Come to find out, that was actually just the lights from a nearby tomato factory. That was like,
Really?
yes,
Aw, bless her heart.
just bouncing off the clouds from the tomato factory. It's like if you live anywhere near Millwood at night. it is lit up like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It is definitely bright through there. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Are you ready to redefine your beauty? Escape into a world of wellness with Pure Aesthetics and Wellness. Experience relaxation and rejuvenation like never before. Amy Abels and her expert team of nurse practitioners, registered nurses, and weight wellness specialists offer a full range of services. From laser hair removal to Juvederm filler, step into a realm where beauty is inspired by you. Visit us on South English Street in Litchfield. Book your transformation at pureaesthetics.life.
That's a deal, yeah. McDonald's money. I got McDonald's money. One meal just to make me feel better. All I wanna know is, can I get a hot and spicy patty to make nuggets so crisp? And the fries go to yellow, yeah. McDonald's don't miss, yeah. Order on the app or the drive-thru quick. $5. That's a deal, yeah. I got McDonald's money. I got McDonald's money.
At participating McDonald's.
At first, I was scared. Where am I going? Who will take care of me? I didn't know what was happening. I felt all alone. Then I met you. You spent time with me. You talked to me. You showed up for me. You give me hope. I'm not scared anymore. My casa is with me.
A CASA volunteer provides hope and consistency to some of the most vulnerable children in our community as they navigate the family court system. Will you be the light for a child in need? Become a CASA volunteer with CASA of the Heartland. Call our office at 270-982-2274. That's 270-982-2274. Or visit our website, casaheartland.org, to learn how you can change a child's story.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
Today's moment in pedestrian history from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. July 16, 1969, Neil Armstrong becomes the first pedestrian on the moon. But if you're a pedestrian here on Earth, be visible with brighter reflective clothing. Use sidewalks and crosswalks. Pay attention and stay off the phone. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for pedestrians. Walk safe, Kentucky.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather. We'll watch some clouds rolling in as the day goes along, with highs today in the 70s. For tonight, falling down into the 50s and low 60s with partly cloudy skies. On your Tuesday, windy, warmer with some sunshine, highs in the low 80s. We'll keep the sunshine, the warmth, and the wind in the forecast on Wednesday. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Hi, this is Gina Leslie with Tom Baxter Real Estate, and I'm in the know. Call me after the show at 217-721-0034 and let me sell the home you've outgrown or find the home of your dreams. Now back to In the Know on K105.
The revenue generated from gambling is more than the revenue from movies, cruise ships, recorded music, theme parks, and spectator sports combined.
Oh, wow.
So not concerts. Well, you got to carve out concerts to keep it to keep it comparable. But the recorded music, like album sales, etc., that's sizable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think Sam does that almost single-handedly.
Yeah.
Sam's what the gambling industry calls a whale. They're dying to get their hands on Sam's money. The weekend box office, Venom: The Last Dance, has a low-grade victory. They're not exactly calling it a Joker Ledoux, but it fell flat about like that did. It did $51 million, but the 2018 original debuted with $80 million. But now some of that could be economics in play. People are having to scrutinize their buying decisions a little more closely. At number 2, Smile. So Venom did $51 million. Smile 2 did under $10 million. At 3, Conclave, that's $6.5 million. I think I'm interested in seeing that. I won't go to the theater, of course, but I am looking forward to it. Stanley Tucci is in it, but Ralph Fiennes is in it, and he's a good actor. He's been in several good things. The Wild Robot at 4, and We Live in Time is at number 5 at 4.8 million. Beetlejuice is still in the top 10. Transformers 1 also in the top 10. Transformers 1, is that a new movie, or do they just roll that back out to the theater for some reason?
I have no idea there.
I thought you were the authority on Transformers. I apologize.
No. Yeah, no, I think I've seen like the first one with Shia LaBeouf, but other than that, I've not seen any of them.
Do we still have a HelloFresh subscription that you keep skipping? Or is it
It's
another
something
company?
like that.
It's not HelloFresh, it's
No,
something.
it is
the equivalent.
HelloFresh. No, it's My Plate. It's My Plate.
Okay. Well, you might want to
Maybe
look
not.
at HelloFresh.
Okay.
And here's why.
Maybe, I can't remember.
They are recreating. But by the way, we have one of those, but we never get any of the food and we never pay for it because you just keep skipping the shipments, correct?
Well, so I did skip for quite some time, and one would slide through every now and then, maybe once, twice. But what happened was I had to get a new debit card. So the debit card that is associated with that account
Got ya.
doesn't work, so I don't have to skip.
So HelloFresh is recreating a famous Friends episode. They are actually introducing Rachel Green's Trifle Meal Kit.
Oh, goodness gracious.
The kit, which drops just in time for Thanksgiving. If you're a Friends fan, you know exactly what we're talking about. It comes packed with everything you need to relive that culinary catastrophe. It's, shepherd's pie, and it's just... Do you remember exactly what all the lady fingers were in there?
It's I'm trying to hear Joey. Meat good. Jam, is it jam? Jam good. Yes.
So if it helps at all, though, it's shepherd's pie layers separate. Oh, sweet custard is in there. Jam.
Yes. Custard good.
HelloFresh is selling the trifle dish. They're providing the trifle dish with dividers.
Right. Okay.
So you can get it. So for those people that don't want to go all in on the Joey style of doing it, you
Yes.
can keep it separate because otherwise it's just gross. This way you can do it as an homage, but you're not just throwing your money away because they know people are not going to eat it.
Right.
They're providing the dividers so
That's
that
pretty cool.
it looks like the genuine article, but you still don't have to get sick trying to eat it. I saw a really touching video over the weekend of Adele. You know, her dates in Vegas are coming to a close. And just like every other normal person, Celine Dion says, I got to see Adele while I can in Vegas. So Celine Dion went to see Adele last week, maybe on Friday. No, it was actually Saturday night. So the video surfaced really quickly. Adele was singing When We Were Young, and she was walking through the crowd, and she sees Celine Dion watching her perform, and she just breaks down into tears. And they hug, and it was just really, really touching. But that's kind of cool. It's like Celine Dion went to see Adele in the same theater that we went to see Celine Dion in, and could have gone to see Adele, but we cashed in that golden ticket. Anyway, it was nice to see the two of them. I'm sure that Celine Dion has inspired lots of great vocalists. Pete Davidson has unveiled the results of his major tattoo removal. Pete Davidson has been missing for a while, and he had gotten, well, let's just say, really, really inked up. If you're watching on the left is one of his tattooed photos, but he has spent time over the last months, and it says by the time that he turns 30, I think he's just finishing up. You can still, in the photo on the right, he's wearing a T-shirt for the FDNY. You know, his dad was one of the firefighters who died in the 9/11 attacks, going in trying to rescue people. So that's he wears it. But then on his forearms, you can tell kind of some faint ink, but they've tried to remove it all. And he came to the conclusion that I think many people have the potential to reach. Is he said he wanted to focus on acting, and he didn't only want to play characters that were tattooed. And so he spent the money and the time to get them removed. Maybe he's just starting with a blank canvas. Maybe he's just saying, I want to start again. Have a whole new series of women's names tattooed on his body. And then over the weekend at NYU, I think it was in NYU, somewhere in New York City, they staged a Timothy Chalamet look-alike contest. And the actual Timothy Chalamet showed up. He heard they were having a Timothy Chalamet look-alike contest, and so he showed up at his own contest. I'm curious to know if he won or not, because famously, Dolly Parton once lost in a Dolly Parton look-alike contest that she got into. So it's possible, if Dolly can fail, Timothy Chalamet certainly can fail. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got today's Point to Ponder, Pearl of Wisdom, Chart Toppers, and more coming up here on In the Know.
When I was growing up, none of the men in my life had good character. My stepdad abandoned me and my siblings within hours of my mother's funeral. My biological father died of alcoholism a few years later. One of the first men to model integrity for me was Jeff, the man who hired me right out of college. He became a good friend and a strong mentor. One day while visiting my office in San Diego, Jeff mailed some personal letters through the company's postal service. Then he asked me, "How much do I owe you?" I waved him off and said, "Don't worry about it. It was just a few cents." But Jeff said, "It's not the company's responsibility to pay my postage." I encouraged Jeff to let it go, but he just wouldn't do it. In the end, I agreed to charge him full price, $1.30, something like that. Jeff's determination to do what was right left a huge impression on me. In that moment, he didn't merely talk about integrity, he demonstrated it. He showed how to honor the big things by taking care of the little things. It's the little things that transform a person's job, marriage, and relationship with their kids into something great. Without integrity, our choices are rooted in convenience, so we shade the truth and cut corners that benefit us while taking advantage of someone else. With integrity, our choices are rooted in character. We do what's right because it's right to do, no matter what it costs us. For more to help you thrive, go to Focus on the Family. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
If you're traveling by foot, it's important to stay on your toes. Be visible with bright or reflective clothing. Use sidewalks and crosswalks. Pay attention and stay off the phone. When it comes to pedestrian safety, please walk the walk. Walk safe, Kentucky. A message from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. So when you start yelling at a dog to stop barking, does the dog think, oh great, now we're both barking?
Maybe.
Probably in its own way.
I mean, there are times Gertie, quit barking. Sometimes Gertie will bark at me. She's like, quit barking at me. And she hear that, then my barking back at her, and then One bark gets another bark, and next thing you know, everybody's just barking.
Seems like you and Gertie have a good relationship then.
We actually do.
They do, but the other morning I did hear him get a little, Gertie.
What was she barking at? Was she trying to tell you that there was an animal outside or something?
Yeah, probably.
More than likely, yeah. There are plenty for her to chase after.
I mean, she's just trying to let you know.
Last night she heard some dogs off in the background, though, and I noticed she gets awfully quiet when there's a pack of dogs, down the road. She going, I don't want any part of that. Tonight on television, World Series Game 3, Dodgers at Yankees, so they'll be playing in the Bronx.
Don't we get Walker Buehler?
Yeah, Walker Buehler, Lexington's own. Sam's a New York Giants fan tonight.
Oh, without question. You won't find a bigger one tonight.
The Giants at the Steelers. The Neighborhood is back tonight. That's the Cedric the Entertainer. And that's a good show. I've not seen the new Damon Wayans show yet, but it's also on tonight. The Voice, The Battles Part 3 on NBC. American Dad, the season 19 premiere on TBS. And then tonight's NCIS and NCIS Origins as well. That's what you have to look forward to. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1886, as I told you earlier, the Statue of Liberty, a gift from the people of France, was dedicated in New York Harbor by President Grover Cleveland. In 1991, what became known as the perfect storm began forming hundreds of miles off Nova Scotia. There's a famous George Clooney movie about that. Is it George Clooney? Yeah, George Clooney. Elon Musk took control of Twitter 2 years ago today. Dennis Franz is 80 today. Bruce Caitlyn Jenner is 75 today. Annie Potts, fellow Kentuckian, well, at least native of Kentucky, 72 today. Bill Gates is 69. I hope somebody gets him a present. He doesn't have much. So he'll hopefully get something for his birthday. Lauren Hawley is 61. Andy Richter is 58. Julia Roberts is 57. Ben Harper, Harper is 55. Brad Paisley is 52. Joaquin Phoenix is 50. Frank Ocean is 37 today. Gone but not forgotten, Dr. Jonas Salk, born in 1914. Bowie Kuhn, former baseball commissioner in 1926. Charlie Daniels was born this date in 1936. We lost Charlie during COVID. I don't know if it was due to COVID, but it was certainly during COVID. And Michael Crichton was born this date in 1942. Without him, we wouldn't have Jurassic Park or Twister or lots of great content. Chart toppers for today. Let's go to 1956. Bill Doggett, #1 with Honky Tonk Parts 1 and 2. We probably don't have time for both parts. We're going to have a segment of part 1. That's all you're going to be able to get today. Wonder how many kids trying to learn to play guitar. They pick this up going, I don't think I can play this. Don't. How many saxophone players? That sounds like a tenor sax more than a baritone sax. Let's go to 1965. The Toys #1 with A Lover's Concerto. Is that okay that they did that to such a classical composition? I don't know. We okay with that? Or are we going to call a foul? Or how do we? 1974. Bachman Turner Overdrive #1. You ain't seen nothing yet. I don't know. Did Randy Bachman actually stutter in real life, or did he just do it for the song? 1983. Listen, this is a tough choice. Air Supply, Making Love Out of Nothing at All. Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, Islands in the Stream. Alabama, Lady Down on Love were all #1 on the same day. but so was Bonnie Tyler. Like that, 4 very, very famous songs, #1 on the same day. What a great song from the 80s. Let's go to 1992. Patti Smythe and Don Henley, #1. It was great to hear her do something outside of Scandal. You know, The Warrior, such a great song, but pairing the two of them together were really good. Let's go to 2001. Brooks and Dunn, #1. You know, we were kind of recovering from September 11, 2001. So this song struck a chord with the nation. 14 years ago today, Nelly was #1 with Just a Dream. And then 5 years ago today, Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello, #1 with Señorita. I love it when you call. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for
What was that
today.
again?
Well, you know, just a little Camila Cabello for you. Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot. Make it hot by striking. Do not wait till the iron is hot to strike. Make it hot by striking. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes,